What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another Transfer Targets episode. This time, the central midfielders we're going to be looking at, seeing as Moussa Sissoko and Harry Winks' future is up in the air. Obviously, Moussa Sissoko is probably the most likely to leave out of the two, but potentially both of them could be out the window this summer.
Depends who the manager is, I guess.
It does very, very heavily depend who the manager was. But if Jose Mourinho was staying, then you'd probably say both of them would have been out the door. But obviously, he's out the door now. And if Pochettino does come in, then it's probably likely Winks stays, isn't it?
I think it's a better chance of him staying because obviously Poch knows Winksy. I think he brought him through, so there's more of a chance of Winks kind of being introduced back into the fold if Pochettino was our manager. But I think Sissoko is definitely one. Even if Poch comes, he'll want him out the door.
Yeah. So we've picked out 5 viable, realistic targets who we think could be on offer this window. So let's start off with the first one, and that is going to be Sander Burge, who played at Sheffield United this year. Fairly good player, 25 million. We put him as the market value. What's your take on him?
Yeah, I kind of like him actually. I don't think. I think maybe in another time where like his season's gone past, it would be like a definite no-brainer. I think right now we probably need a bit of a high caliber player than Sander Burge, but I do think he would slot very well in our team, and he could definitely be rotating quite well with Højbjerg. He could definitely help out our midfield, and he's quite decent on the ball as well. He's not just a player who's physically gives his all for the team. I think on the ball he has got good composure, decent dribbling ability, but he's nothing exceptional in terms of his passing ability is quite limited. And his shooting range isn't the best, but I think that he's one who has a scale to improve if he does come to Spurs.
Who would you say he's got like a similar playing style to?
Who would I say Sander Burge has a similar, it's like a Scott Parker kind of thing.
Scott Parker?
That kind of playing style. That's how I see someone like Sander Burge. He's not exactly he's not a defensive midfielder. He's not an attacking midfielder. He's kind of in the middle of both, but he's more defensive than attacking, and his biggest attributes are definitely off the ball, but he's probably like a more composed Parker in that sense.
And obviously he scored a goal against us this year, didn't he? In the 3-1
last year.
Last year.
Yeah.
In the 3-1 loss.
3-1 loss. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the second option. We're going for Bissouma from Brighton. I mean, this is a player which I think is absolutely fantastic. I think he's had a brilliant season for Brighton. We've put a 30 million price tag on him in terms of market value. But he's being sniffed around by a lot of clubs this summer.
Yeah, including Arsenal.
Arsenal and Liverpool.
Yeah, and he's one who's really come on strong this season. He's had a real breakout season. I think he's always been decent player, but now this season he's come on and taken himself to a new level, and he's been one of the stars of that Brighton team. I think he's one who, at 23 years of age, 23, 24, he can prove even better than what he is now. If you put him around better players, I think he will shine. I think physically, he's one of the most, he gets one of the most tackles and interceptions and covers one of the most ground in the whole Premier League. And on the ball as well, he's got a fantastic shot on him. He's a really good long-range shooter. Passing maybe not so much, but I think in terms of his quality, I think his dribbling ability is also very, very high. He's good at holding off players, shielding the ball, that kind of stuff. So I think I know his passing is not the best, but it's also not the worst. So I think he's definitely one who's gettable from Brighton, and I would very seriously be considering him.
Yeah, the thing is, I've got a feeling that he is going to move to Liverpool, though, to replace Gigi Wijnaldum. That's the only thing. I would love him at Spurs. I really would. But I do think he's going to go to Liverpool and end up at Liverpool, which is a shame.
Yeah, I hope we can steal a march on him. Maybe we convince him if he comes to us, he'll get more game time. But it's going to be a hard sell. It'll be a hard sell. But I really rate Bissouma very highly.
Would he fit in a team with Højbjerg, or would it be him or Højbjerg in that double?
No, he could definitely fit in with Højbjerg. I think he'd definitely fit in with Højbjerg. Maybe against better teams, he would play with Højbjerg against teams lower down the table. It could either be even Bissouma as the lone defensive midfielder, or Højbjerg.
And obviously he would be like a Sissoko replacement, and
definitely
like miles better than Sissoko.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially on the ball, night and day between him and Sissoko.
All right, the next target we're going to be looking at is Ruben Neves of Wolves. 45 million market value we've put on him. It's been said that he is going to be leaving Wolves this summer.
Yes.
So if he is, I mean, this is one that we should really be looking at, because I've been so impressed with Ruben Neves ever since he stepped foot in the Premier League. Obviously, everyone knows what kind of a shot he's got on him. But it's not just that. The energy he brings to midfield, I think that he's a top quality player. Yeah,
it's underrated, his physical attributes and how he can compete in the midfield. I don't think it's the best, but it's he's not a passenger in that sense. I think he did well with him and Coutinho as a partnership. On the ball, obviously, look, the guy is absolutely amazing. Like, his passing range is absolutely phenomenal. His shooting range is arguably the best in the league. I know he hasn't had the best of seasons last season for Wolves. I think he did struggle. He didn't score that many goals, but I think it's just a case of Wolves were the team kind of dropping off as a team, and that he was kind of part of that. And he's easily a player who we could lose to someone like Man City or someone like Man City or Man United could easily come in for him this summer. But if we're smart and we kind of steal a march from both those teams, because we could definitely convince Neves he'll get more game time at Spurs than he would at City or United. So we could maybe steal a march from him early in the window, stump up the cash and get him through the door. But if we don't, I think we'll probably lose him to a team higher up the food chain.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to get Ruben Neves through the door, but if you're comparing Ruben Neves and the next player we're going to talk about, I'll probably prefer the next player, and he will be cheaper as well, in terms of Marcel Sabitzer of RB Leipzig. It's also very likely he's going to be leaving Leipzig this summer. Leadership qualities, he's their captain. I mean, he can do
versatile as well.
Yeah, exactly. He can do the defensive work and do the attacking work. He can play on the wing. He can play centre mid. I mean, this guy, he's been heavily linked with Tottenham for a while now. And I think he is definitely one that we should be prioritising.
Yeah, I think if we can get him, I think he's the one who is the most attainable in terms of price, and is definitely what we want in terms of versatility and work ethic as well, and his mentality. I'm a massive fan of Sabitzer, and I think he's had a fantastic time at Leipzig. Him not signing the contract, meaning with 1 year left, it's very likely they'll sell, and that's another one definitely I would back, because I think he's got good quality defensively and offensively, on the ball and off the ball. So it's a no-brainer if we can get him in. I actually think on the ball, someone like Neves, I don't think he's as good off the ball as a Basuma. I don't think he's as good on the ball as Neves, but he combines the two extremely well, and his versatility as well takes him a level above.
Don't underestimate the power of versatility.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
It's mad in the Premier League, especially. When you got so many games, especially with us with the Conference League this year and all the other competitions. I mean, to have a player that can fill in a few different roles to a high caliber, a lot can be said about that. And let's move on to the last player that we're going to be talking about today, and that is James Ward-Prowse. Sorry for the typo there, but 40 million market value. Everyone knows his kind of attributes from set pieces and what have you. And I think that in the Premier League for Southampton, he's been growing in stature year on year. And he's got that kind of leadership qualities as well, being Southampton's captain.
Yeah, and he's not just a set piece specialist. I know obviously that's his main strength, but he's not just that as well. He's a very hard worker in the centre, and him and Højbjerg actually developed quite a decent partnership as well when they were playing together at Southampton. Kind of in that Hassan Hüttl system, they're kind of doing everything in that centre, running all over the pitch, and maybe in a more controlled environment. Very got great stamina, and he's really can last the game quite easily. He's got really good passing range, got amazing. His crossing ability is absolutely fantastic. We all know that. And with Spurs, as we spoke about at the end of the season, that we had the most shots from free kicks out scoring a goal in the Premier League, 35, and Ward-Prowse would easily sort that issue. He would easily get us a lot of free kicks.
They'll make sure not to give us free kicks.
Yeah, that's for sure. So he's definitely one. Maybe if the other people aren't quite attainable, Ward-Prowse is one who, playing for Southampton, could be one convinced to make the step up to Spurs.
Most definitely. So those are the 5 realistic targets we have spoken about, and the targets we spoke about were Marcel Sabitzer, Bissouma, James Ward-Prowse, Sander Burge, and Ruben Neves of Wolves. I mean, all 5 of them are very, very good targets, aren't they?
Yeah. To be honest, if we sign any of those 5, it'll be solid signings.
Yeah, I think my number 1 would be Sabitzer, and number 2 would probably be Bissouma for me. What about you?
I think my number 1 Oof, so tough. I think my number one would probably be Sabitzer. And then I think maybe Neves might be number one to do, then Bissouma.
Yeah.
So tight though.
It is. All right, well, let me know in the comment section below which of those 5 would you like to take, or let me know in the comment section below if there are any other centre midfield targets that are realistic who we could sign this summer. Let us know who your options are in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.